folks, and thank you for tuning in to hear about movie news. I'll be your host, Bret, and this is movie news for this week. We're going to kick it off with an ex-Monty Python, Terry Gilliam. He's the director of 12 Monkeys, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Shit, what else has he done? Brazil. And his new one looks really good too, Zero Theorem. Check that one out when it comes out, because I'm gonna. He claimed this week that The Man Who Shot Don Quixote, the movie he's been trying to make for like a decade now, might actually happen. No Johnny Depp, but it still might actually happen. Now, if you remember, he's tried to make this, I believe, 2 other times. They put out a documentary about him trying to make this movie already. That movie, Lost in La Mancha, was actually pretty good. And all this story is telling me is that Terry Gilliam does not learn his lesson. He needed to learn his lesson a long time ago by this movie. This movie, the Don Quixote story, from what people say, making Don Quixote it's a curse. The curse of Don Quixote. This movie's not going to get made, Terry Gilliam. You're just going to hint at it. You're going to try to. You're going to attempt it. You're going to find the funds. And then something is going to happen. And it's going to blow the whole thing up. And we're never going to see this fucking movie. We are never going to see the man who killed Don Quixote. And as soon as Terry Gilliam realizes this, it's going to be a lot better for him. And for us as moviegoers. Because I like his movies. And now we're going to head on over to Legoland. I really liked the Lego movie that just came out. It was humorous and heartfelt, and it was very good, probably just because of the directors, but it was very good. It was a very good movie. Now Warner Bros. Is going to try to smash it into the ground. They already announced a while ago that they were going to do a spin-off of it, Ninjago. I think I'm saying that right, Ninjago. And that's supposed to come out in 2016. In 2017, we're supposed to get the Lego Movie 2, which is going to be pretty good. I'm excited about it, of course, because it's a movie, so I get excited. But just this week, they announced 2 untitled animated movies coming in 2018 and 2019 also. And insiders over at Warner Bros. Say that those 2 unannounced ones, those are going to be from the Lego brand. So 4 years straight of Lego movies. Don't get me wrong, I liked the Lego movie. I thought it was amazing. But 4 years straight, are you kidding me? I've only seen the first one, the one that they've made, the one they put out, Lego Movie, which is a good movie. But after all this Lego news this week, I'm so Legoed out. The director Colin Trevorrow wrapped production on Jurassic World this week, tweeted some pics. It looks amazing. You don't see anything really in the pics. We'll show you the pics. But I'm super excited. The synopsis of the movie sounds good. It sounds legit. Chris Pratt is fronting the movie. And that guy's like my new best friend, it feels like. I love Andy from Parks and Rec. Guardians of the Galaxy, just saw that this past weekend. It was awesome, to say the least. And his scene in movie 43, although the rest of the movie really wasn't that good, his scene was hilarious. So please keep it up, Chris Pratt. Please keep it up. And make sure Jurassic World doesn't suck. The summer season is a huge deal for movies and movie studios. Summer's when they release all their big shit, and kicking off the summer season is a humongous deal for a movie. Well, a couple years ago, Marvel put on the docket for May 6, 2016 that they were going to release an untitled, that's what they call it, an untitled Marvel movie. And that's just when they don't know what they're going to put out yet, but they're going to put something out on that day. They're just holding the date. After Man of Steel, the new Superman movie came out last year, DC and Warner Brothers tried to stake a claim on that date also, thinking, oh, Marvel's just got an untitled, we'll just swoop in here and take that date real quick and tell everybody, all the fanboys, Man of Steel, they'll have to move the movie. That was the case until Captain America 2 came out last May and just dominated the box office for the weekend. So Marvel came out and they said, oh, DC, Warner Brothers, you're going to do Man of Steel 2 that day? You're going to do the new Batman and Superman movie? Well, we're going to do Captain America 3 that day. Beat that. There's just been this fight, this back and forth, this May 6, 2016, the start of the summer season. And everybody thought there was going to be this huge head-to-head battle between Marvel and DC in 2016. We're going to have to pick, and we're going to have to decide which one we're going to go see as fans. Until Warner Brothers and DC budged. They've now moved the Batman-Superman movie up a couple months to March. Basically, Warner Brothers and DC went like this. Fuck you, Marvel. We're going to open our shit before you. So this battle's over with, but this is going to come head-to-head at some point. These 2 studios, Marvel and DC, they're going to be fist-fighting soon. It's like East Coast and West Coast from the 90s. This is Tupac and Biggie for nerds. This shit is going to go down. Arnold Schwarzenegger revealed this week that the new Terminator movie is going to be called Terminator Genesis, with a Y. Terminator Genesis. Y. And the whole world looked at this picture and said, I don't give a shit about that movie. Sony Pictures, who holds the rights to the Spider-Man franchise, is trying a little too hard to stay relevant. All the fans of superhero movies have been pissed off lately because there isn't any good female-driven superhero movies. Because we're not going to count Catwoman. So Sony came out and they said, oh, we'll make one. We've got a couple characters we could work with. We'll make one. No idea who it's going to be. We'll make one. I don't know which characters they actually have the rights to, but it could be anybody from Black Cat to Silver Sable to Spider-Girl. They weren't talking to you, Sony Pictures. They were talking to Marvel. What the fans want is a Black Widow movie. They want Scarlett Johansson. They don't want Black Cat. They want Black Widow. Sony also came out this week and said that the Venom movie that they've been working on is now going to be titled Venom Carnage. Venom Carnage. Sounds awesome. Not going to happen, folks. I didn't think that the Venom movie was actually going to get made in the first place, but now that they're going to try to tack on Carnage onto that, it's definitely not going to get made. All they're doing right now is trying to stay relevant. It's pissing me off. You're not going to make this movie. Don't get my hopes up. And finally, they announced Sinister Six is going to be led by Doc Octopus. Which sounds cool, and they're probably going to get an amazing actor to play Doc Ock. But seriously, Sony, when Spider-Man 3 came out, the two biggest complaints was the emo scenes and the villains. Having so many villains and trying to put that many villains. How many villains did they have in Spider-Man 3? 3? All vying for screen time. And all the fans have bitched. 40 years. There was way too many villains. So what did they do? They rebooted it with a pretty good origin story, even though it's another origin story. Sony heard us all bitching about how there was too many villains. So what do they decide to do? They decide to launch the Sinister Six, which is cool in idea, not gonna be that cool on screen. This is a terrible idea. Listen to the fans, Sony. We did get some good news this week if you're a fan of anime. Studio Ghibli is not shutting down. They are just restructuring, so they will be back. However, Miyazaki is still retired. And in theaters this week, we've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't care what you haters say. I'm gonna love this movie. A new Step Up movie, Step Up All In, Into the Storm with Lori from Walking Dead. And in limited release, we've got 100-Foot Journey and What If, which I hear is pretty good. That's it for this week. Tune in next week for some more movie news. In the meantime, send us some comments or like us, share us. Get our name out there, fans.